Coming up on show 688, Electrify America completes their 400th EV charging station. Also on the show today, the biggest Tesla supercharging park in Germany is to open. GM are going to hold their Eveyday and a new 53-mile-an-hour electric motorcycle. Those stories and many more on your show. Good morning, good afternoon or good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to EV News Daily, edition for Wednesday 5th of Feb. My name is Martyn Lee, going through every EV story I can find so you don't have to. Well, thank you to myev.com for making the show, and thank you to myev.com for organising this weekend's event at Base Camp Miami. Going to be for a couple of hours on Saturday afternoon. It's called EVs and Tea. Well over 600 cars are going to be in attendance. Loads of RSVPs are coming in. You've still got time to get to the event. Check out the domain evsandtea.com. You get some goodie bags, you can soak up the culture, see some of the big YouTube stars going to be there as well from the EV community. Wish I could be there myself, and maybe next year. They haven't announced one. I'm sure they will. They haven't done this year yet, but I've broken the news to the team. Please do one next year. I'll come to that one. I'm sure they're so busy at the minute. I'm sure it's crazy. Right, let's move on to our biggest story of the day, and that's Electrify America confirming they've now completed the installation of their first 400 EV charging stations only 20 months after starting deployment, says Electrek. Just a reminder, Electrify America is the body that was set up as part of the penance to be paid by VW with about $2 billion of "you did a very, very bad thing" money. And their task is to build a charging network for the rest of us to use that aren't driving Teslas. Well, they started deployment less than 2 years ago, and now they've confirmed they've achieved their initial goal of 400 stations and 1,700 charge points in those 400 stations. Well, Brendan Jones is the COO of Electrify America, confirming to Electrek the news, but he clarified that while all the stations are officially deployed, some of them are still going to be activated over the next few days and weeks, awaiting approval from local utilities. All of the company's highway fast charging stations are equipped to charge vehicles up to 350 kilowatts, even though most electric cars on the road today can't take that much power. We'll take it. Not the power, but, we'll take the chargers. The company says they're planning for a future where an EV fleet in 5 years' time can charge at 350 kilowatts. Indeed, they have 150 kilowatt chargers in urban areas for city charging, and plenty of EVs can make use of those because the next step down from 150 are the 50s. And there are lots of cars around that sit in that band of charging quicker than a 50 kilowatt charger can give, but 150 being a little bit too quick. But if you look at your Jaguar I-Paces, your Audi e-trons, your Mercedes-Benz EQCs, your MG ZS EVs, all of those, the Korean cars as well, they've got a theoretical maximum of about mid-70s, haven't they? The Konas, the Neros, the Ioniqs, right? And so it's only because of the battery voltage they can't go any higher. They can't take any more amperage in. But there are so many cars that need a quicker charger than 50, but you don't want to have to put 350s in. Those 150 kilowatt posts look like they're going to be the next big phase of useful development. The 350s, the HPCs, the high-powered chargers, very, very expensive to install. At the minute, won't be used to their maximum capacity. There's a few of them around, and there's nothing more heartbreaking than, because some of them are now charging per kilowatt hour, seeing a plug-in hybrid plugged into them. Oh, I got an email complaint recently from someone that said I'm against plug-in hybrids because I always mention about them being plugged into high-powered chargers or even 50 kilowatt fast chargers. And no, I'm not against plug-in hybrids. And I just hope that occasionally, by me making the odd tongue-in-cheek joke about that, any hybrid listeners to this podcast will kind of, get the message. Oh, I went to charge. I didn't tell you. I went to charge. I was on the M3 motorway, and I pulled in. There's one charger there with AC on it, and I thought I just really, really, really need to charge here because the other chargers are off the motorway. A bit of a diversion. So I went to use the Ecotricity. There's a BMW hybrid plugged into it. It's on a motorway. You're at a motorway. There's nothing for miles around that motorway service station. Plug-in hybrids are so good in certain circumstances, but when you're in the middle of a motorway road trip, having that full battery is just the icing on the cake. It's not what you need. I was in a fully electric car. I needed the charger. No one was around. No one was coming to the car. I'll just move on. Go find myself a Polar charger. However, if you've got a plug-in hybrid car and you do need to use that charger, maybe, I don't know, stay with the car as much as you can, or use a service like Need to Charge. Need to Charge app is a brilliant way of sharing a plug socket. Anyway, that is enough of what I think about how we should be using the different infrastructure that's out there at the moment. Let's talk about a big fast-charging supercharging park in the European Union that will go online on a plot of land owned by a bakery, actually, near Dusseldorf. According to Electrek, they found some local media reports that said a 16-pallet supercharging station with a 1 megawatt transformer will be the initial operation there. Tesla intends to build a total of 40 stalls, and they're all going to be V3s. They charge up to 250 kilowatts. It's at the Hilden intersection, and that would be huge. 40 V3 superchargers. Wow, that would be amazing. Look, even to have the first 16 going in would be utterly awesome. Well, General Motors are going to host their Eveyday on the 4th of March. The announcement came from President Mark Rees during the company's presentation day for capital markets earlier today. Besides helping to communicate the extent of their monumental shift of the country's largest automaker to electric power, we expect to learn a few specifics about their EV plans, says Dominic at Inside EVs. While the near term will bring a refreshed Bolt, great car, I don't talk about it enough on this show, the Bolt EV, a new version of that for 2021, and a Bolt EUV, an electric utility vehicle. GM's electric future well and truly gets underway when it starts to roll out the product based on its BEV3 platform. That's where the focus is, and future-proofing their future models, at least. During GM's Eveyday next month, we'll find out more about the Hummer EV. That's going to be the first on the BEV3 platform to be produced. Okay, so here in the UK, the electric vehicle market goes from strength to strength. The number of pure electric cars topped 100,000 earlier last month in January, seeing registrations up more than 200% compared to the same time a year ago. According to Chris at Next Green Car, the latest set of statistics from the trade body, the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, shows that more than 4,000 pure electric cars were registered in the month. That figure, combined with almost 5,000 plug-in hybrids, made January the second best performing month in history. In terms of electric vehicle market share, 6%. Yowzers, that's going up and up and up. Bit by bit, baby steps, 6% of the market. I know people say, oh, well, you know, EVs. We know they're coming, but they're small time. Look at Norway. 4 out of 5 cars have a plug socket. And in the UK, that's 6% now, and that just keeps on going up. Total plug-in car registrations is now more than 273,000 units in the UK. If you drive a car with a plug socket on in this country, you are one of 273,000 fellow drivers. While still representing a small proportion of the overall car market, it is clear there's plenty of demand, and now as sales grow, the car makers have to meet that demand. By the way, diesel, yowzers. Diesel fell off a cliff again, and that's after falling off a couple of previous cliffs. Diesel sales down 36% in January. Not a good time to be in the diesel business. Hey, from 4 wheels to 2, and Hero Electrek has taken to Auto Expo 2020 to unveil its first electric motorcycle. It's called the Hero Electrek AE47. Says Micah at Electrek. It's unveiled with a 53 mile an hour top speed, a 4 kilowatt motor, a rear hub motor on that. May be good for city use and the occasional highway as well. Right, Tesla is going to use its side cameras to help the drivers back up. How do we know? Elon tweets. Tesla owners of Silicon Valley tweeted, "Can we get the side cameras to show when backing up?" Elon replied. Wasn't a long text, this one. Tweet. It was the word yes. So we know it's coming. Tesla vehicles have 8 cameras that give you a 360 view of the environment. Well, it gives the car a 360 view of the environment. When backing up, though, you've only got your rear view camera, but now, at an unspecified time in the future, Elon confirming, you will get the side cameras as well. That might prevent the odd dink or dent. Well, a couple more stories, and Rivian may be best known for its upcoming R1T electric pickup truck, but Amazon may give the startup their most exposure yet, after detailing plans of a partnership with the online retail giant and the EV maker. The two surprised with plans to create a purpose-built electric van for Amazon deliveries. Yes, it won't be a repurposed plan they had. Starting from scratch, blank sheet of paper, what should be in an Amazon delivery van, and Rivian are going to make them for them. According to CNET, on Tuesday, both companies gave us a closer look at what's going on behind the scenes. The cockpit will include a digital display. You won't be surprised to hear it's going to have Alexa built in. With Amazon's logistics management system fully integrated, drivers won't need any external device for mapping or navigation. Alexa will handle all of those voice commands to keep Amazon delivery workers from entering any information manually. We'll see the first of the vans hit the road in 2021. There'll be 10,000 of them. And this is interesting because the 100,000 figure gets all the headlines for Rivian, saying, oh, well, Rivian are going to catch up to Tesla very soon. They're going to make 100,000 Amazon vehicles. Yeah, 100,000 of them by 2030, with 10,000 in the first year. And if you're doing 10,000 in year one, that's not a slow ramp. You know, a slow ramp would be 1,000 in the first year and then 50,000 in the last year. That, to me, says a pretty linear ramp of 10,000 every single year. All of a sudden, making 10,000 vans for Amazon a year doesn't sound as impressive as 100,000. But hey, they've taken a lot of money in investment. Rivian have definitely got something going on. Finally, in addition to the already planned high-powered chargers coming from Shell, there's 50 of those in Germany. What they call the high-powered chargers are actually 150 kilowatt chargers, not the 350s. They're building with the energy supplier EnBW, would I say that? Shell is now promising another 50 in a second wave in northern Germany, says Electrek. Well, Shell took over the German battery manufacturer Sonnen last February, about a year ago, wasn't it? And the charging infrastructure company New Motion, October 2018. And at the beginning of the year, Green Lots in the US as well. They're focusing on that field. In mid-December, Shell put the first 150 kilowatt chargers into Germany at a filling station in Reutlingen. It's probably not how I say that name. Well, there you go. There's your news for today. Loads going on. My goodness, we rattled through the stories today. There was a lot happening. So much positive news. I love reading this news out for you because this is just so optimistic, so positive every single day. There's news about vehicles, chargers, battery technology, renewables. And our question of the week this week is, if you choose to answer it with my EV, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being totally, how much did the environment play on your mind when you bought your EV, or will it play on your mind when you buy one? You can email me, hello@evnewsdaily.com, or leave a comment on the show notes. Thank you to 231 patrons of the podcast. If you want to check out Patreon, if you're curious about what it's all about, if you want to become one of those names that I read out for the price of a posh coffee once or twice a month, you can indeed support the work of this podcast. Go to Patreon, patreon.com/evnewsdaily. There are 687 previous shows in the archive, got some special shows coming up for Saturdays booked in now, which I'm looking forward to. And if you want to leave a little review on Amazon Podcasts, it really helps grow this show. In the meantime, come and say hi on socials by searching EV News Daily. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.